Hello, hello.
Hello, happy Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Cup of Celebrity Day.
Yes, I'm so excited for today's episode because we are celebrating Pride Month. Today's episode is about all the LGBTQIA plus celebrities that we know of, that we care for, and that we just want to talk about and just relish in their greatness.
We're not part of that community, but we're certainly an ally to them. Definitely want to dedicate an episode to LGBTQIA plus. Before we do want to touch on headlines for this week, the hot pour, as we say. We don't have too much because we do want to leave room for our Pride episode. Some big headlines that came up this past week, or 2 weeks actually, because we haven't recorded in 2 weeks. First being Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had their second child, a daughter, and her name is Lilibet Diana.
The bet part is to honor his grandma, Queen Elizabeth, and of course Diana is for his mom. So I thought that was really sweet, and I think Lilibeth is a rather unique name, and I feel like when it comes to the royal family, they always pick very structured and safe names like Henry, Richard, Edward.
Yeah.
So I think this name is it's quintessential. It's like modern but also classic at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's so cute, Lilibet Diana. Like oh my god, you can tell, especially all the interviews that Harry's been doing lately. You could just see that he like the way he cherishes his mom so much and to honor her that way. But I have to say, I was actually kind of surprised about Lilibet, because of like all the Harry kind of realizing he didn't want to be part of the monarchy, and like how Meghan was feeling being a part of that environment. So I mean, a lot of eyes were kind of looking at like Queen Elizabeth, like, oh, is she part of like the negative energy from that? But then, I mean, he named his daughter after her, so I feel like that just shows he has a good relationship with her. I was surprised. I thought she would be against because she just seems so traditional.
I agree. I do think that they have a good relationship, and I feel like Queen Elizabeth is so stoic. She's very unreactionary. So it's hard to know like what's even going on through her mind, but I think the fact that part of her name is in their daughter's name is a positive confirmation. And I read like a quote from The Crown, which is the Netflix series of the whole monarchy, and supposedly Queen Elizabeth said something in the essence of it takes all of your energy to not react, to not give a reaction. And maybe she never said that in real life, but it's like I just paraphrased it from the series. So I think that gives a reflection of how she is as a person in real life. It's like we'll never know how she's going to react. So it always leaves that mystery aspect in it. And I think now we can get a little bit of a clarification like, okay, Meghan and Prince Harry probably respect her, and I don't think she's part of the problem, but my opinion is she kind of enables it because she never denies anything or backs them up or shuts down the racist paparazzi.
Wow. I mean, congratulations to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Like, I totally stand them, and I love them together, and the support
Same.
for one another.
Yes. Okay, so how do we talk about the next topic? It's very interesting. I will have to say, I have seen this person in real life before, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Me too.
I was like, this man has aged. Because I'm sure when he was on the show that we will reveal in a little bit, he was probably in his early 20s. So by the time I saw him, he's probably in his early 30s, but he just looked way more aged. And the person we're talking about is Drake Bell because he just got arrested.
Yeah, from Drake and Josh, that Drake Bell. I mean, I'm kind of not surprised because I don't know if you remember, like, I don't know how long ago it was, but a couple months ago or maybe a year ago, an ex-girlfriend came out about how abusive he was. I forgot the details, but she just talked about how abusive he was, and it went viral. And all of a sudden, he moved to Mexico, and he became a singer in Mexico and was really popular there, had a really big Mexican fan base. And then news comes that he's been arrested for, oh, what was it? What was it called?
Is crimes against children.
Yeah, so I didn't look too much into it, just saw that he got arrested, but apparently he was, and this is based off what something he did, I think it was around 2014, 2015. He was texting underage girls. That's kind of crazy though, it was 2014. Like, I mean, our justice system works really slow then. But yeah, I mean, at least hopefully whoever is a victim of all this is getting their justice.
Yes, exactly. And one point I definitely want to make is that when you are a celebrity, there's this power dynamic that is just so undefeatable in a way because if I was a 14-year-old and my favorite TV actor and message me on Instagram, I am gonna be head over heels. I'm gonna feel like I'm living it in a dream, like my life is a movie. So there's this power dynamic where you can't really like recognize it and you just see a lot of like the red flags it's just regular flags and it's like it's such a common occurrence within the realm of celebrities taking advantage of their fans, even YouTubers taking advantage of their fans and sending illicit messages, inappropriate messages, and it's something that is just whew, something I hate. It really irritates me.
No, and it's, I mean, just more and more stories are coming out, and Drake Bell is just like the latest.
Okay, enough of that. We are going to talk about something that makes us more happy. We're going to talk about all of our favorite Pride celebrities in honor of Pride Month. So, okay, I'll get started with our first one, and we're going to talk about a few YouTubers. And the first one I'm going to talk about is Gigi Gorgeous. And I've actually watched her for a really long time, so I've seen her journey, I've seen her progression. And way back when she was a he, his name was Greg, he came out as gay. And then Greg came out as transgender, went by Gigi, and then Gigi met her current spouse. Back then she was Natalie, so she came out as lesbian, and then her spouse is non-binary, so now they go by he, I think he or they, I forgot the pronouns. And so finally Gigi just came out as pansexual, and even in her video, she's like, I swear this is my last coming out video. But I just love this journey, and it just goes to show that life is just, you just never know what's going to happen. And I feel like with Gigi, she just embraces the journey, and I love just her antics, and I still watch her to this day.
Wait, so did Gigi start off as a guy on YouTube?
Gregory Gorgeous or Greg Gorgeous.
Oh,
It's like those scene days where people are like Madison Manic.
and then the long hair to the side.
I know maybe yours would be like Melissa Madness and mine's like Lynn Lazy or something.
Was lazy. Lynn, Lynn Lover. Oh, that's awesome. I remember, wasn't there like a documentary on Gigi or something?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I never followed her because I've never been into like, because she did makeup, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so I've never been into makeup, so I didn't follow her, but I definitely remember her having like a documentary.
Yes. Yes, she did. And at the end of the documentary, she was still she was dating this guy. I think he was like a personal trainer or something. But obviously, the document they film it way in advance and they take a while to edit. So by that time, she was I think she was already dating her spouse. So, yeah, I like the documentary. It showcases her going through the surgery and then her dad being there for her because her mother had passed away. And yeah, I feel like there's just so much that we don't know that goes in other people's lives. And I really appreciate them sharing those details because the awareness and just knowing allows the space for compassion.
Okay, so another YouTuber is one that I love, my fellow Filipino brethren, but Bretman motherfucking rock. So I mean, he's always been out. I for as long as that I've been watching him. But something that I love about him is that he surrounds himself with like a good community, and like his assistant is his cousin, who's, I don't want to misdefine how his assistant.
Like
Oh,
Kiefer, right?
Yeah, Kiefer. Because I don't know. Did you watch his MTV episodes?
Yes, and I feel like Kiefer was like, I don't really want to label myself, like assign a specific gender, and I totally get it. So, yeah, I think that is really cool. And with Bretman, I feel like when he first came out, he didn't explicitly say like I'm gay. I one time he did like a Vine slash Instagram video with this really famous guy. I forgot his name, but it's like this guy in the sunglasses, and he's like, Bretman, what's up? And then Bretman like zooms, and he's like, I'm pregnant.
Oh, I love
So
Bretman is like I feel like you can use gay to define you, or but he uses like to him it's not like he's the gay YouTuber. Like he's Bretman and he is gay. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to describe it, but he's just Bretman Rock and he just does him. And I think he just brings positivity to the community and he's so unproblematic and the support he shows for his cousin Kiefer. I thought that was just so sweet and like how he just wants him oh yeah, they did like a gender reveal on his show.
yes.
But the thing is, there was no gender. It's Kiefer or whatever. So
Hmm.
I thought that was just beautiful.
Yes, Bretman Rock is definitely the epitome of bad bitch energy. And I
Mhm.
definitely feel like he doesn't make his sexuality his whole personality, which I think
Yeah,
everyone wants that to be the truth. And I feel like when he had his boyfriend, like he kept it very private. He didn't like show his face, not that I know of, and he never made like a video like boyfriend Q&A or just like talk about it. Like he's like, I'm in a relationship, and then when the relationship was over, he was like, I'm still a bad bitch. And I think Bretman Rock is definitely the definition of progression, because I think in the beginning, like he had some maybe problematic tendencies, but I feel like people educated him, they corrected him, he apologized, and he has really grown. And I feel like that's why people love him, is because he owns up to it and he actually has his actions back up his words.
I think it also helps that like he lives in Hawaii, and he doesn't get like that whole. He doesn't get wrapped up in Hollywood, you know. And I mean, he came to LA and he said that LA was ugly.
And then there's me wanting to move back to SoCal. Speaking of SoCal, we both attended Cal State Fullerton, and when I was at Cal State Fullerton, this amazing guest graced us with her presence. I was like, I cannot believe I'm 1,000 feet away from her. Like I was so high up in the bleachers, but I was able to see her. And the person I'm talking about is Laverne Cox, who is a transgender woman. And I first saw her on the Netflix show Orange is the New Black. And then, I've watched her interviews, I watched her story, and she actually has a twin brother who plays
Oh, what?
like the male version of her. So I thought that was really cool. And I just remember when she was at Cal State Fullerton, so many people were asking her such critical and like intricate questions. And I remember her being like, whoa, like you guys have some hard questions for me.
Wait, when did she come to see stuff? Because I think I remember this, but I don't remember what for.
I don't remember either. And I don't know if I had tickets or like, obviously it's a free event, but yeah, she was there and she was like talking about her story a little bit, and then she had a Q&A session, and obviously there was way too many questions, she couldn't answer all of them. But yeah, I think she's an amazing figure. She's really beautiful too, and she's very like feminine. Yes, her energy gives off like very sensual and not like overtly sexy, but just like the classy,
Yeah,
the
super classy. I love it. Like just classy and poised. Yeah, so I like wanted to dig up more on her because all I knew about her was that I remember her from Orange is the New Black. I looked into more into her, and she's the first transgender nominated for an Emmy Award, and she was the first African American transgender to produce and star in her own show. It was called Transform Me. Like she's always just been an advocate for the transgender community, and oh, that's all the notes I had.
good
But
notes. I just was drawing back from my experience of just seeing her in person. I'm just like, wow, it's just so, I don't know how to explain it. I think maybe I was just like starstruck, but I think it's just so it's such a pivotal moment, because I feel like sometimes when you're the first of anything, it really paves the way for future people to land those certain roles. And it's just like I'm really excited to see what else will come from her and who else will follow in her footsteps.
Oh hell yeah. And like she just seems like yeah, to be the first, like she's just setting such a great example. I don't hear any negative news about her. At least yeah, I haven't heard any. And I was looking at her Instagram too, and like it's not just like photos of her and what she does, like she's just recognizing like other people. I mean, no matter what, it doesn't even have to be like transgender related. Like I think she just posts people who are doing good stuff in their in life and wants to share it. And I'm like, she's awesome. And she also hosts a podcast called The Laverne Cox Show, which I haven't listened to, but I might start just because I was like kind of amazed. I was like, oh, I didn't know she did all this. So I am, yeah, I'm in awe.
I feel like with Laverne, there's always something you can learn from her, and I feel like it's the type of learning, like the lesson, you're just like, wow, like this is amazing. Like it's like a hefty lesson, but one that you just appreciate and you feel like you grow with her as well. Like I think just the lessons she has, the experiences, very beautiful, and I like it a lot.
All right, next we have Halsey, aka Ashley, or
Oh my god,
Ashley, aka
for the
Halsey.
longest time when I first started listening to her music, I was like, my roommate at the time, she was like, oh, she kept saying Hasley. So I was like, okay, maybe we're both dyslexic and it is Hasley. And then I saw her at Coachella and she's like, something like, I'm Halsey. And I was like, what? The whole time I've been saying Hasley. And then we learned her name is Ashley. And anyways, I feel like Halsey is very outspoken and for what I know is that she is bisexual. Like she even has a song called "Bad at Love," which I like that song a lot, where she sings
Yeah,
about
I love that song too.
her relationships with both men and women. And I think recently this year she just came out at I don't think as non-binary, but I think her pronouns like she doesn't mind either she or they. So that's cool. I feel like when it comes to like your sexuality, sometimes gender plays a role in it, but not all the time. Anyways, Halsey has had a dating history. She dated like G-Eazy. She dated this rapper Youngblood, and now she's currently pregnant by this guy. His name starts with an A. I think I have it somewhere, but yeah, like Halsey, I feel like she's very outspoken, and I feel like sometimes she's in the news for speaking too much, like she said that she's been homeless before and like she says that she's biracial, but she is white passing, so there's like that line of controversy. But if you see her dad, like she kind of looks just like her dad. And yeah, I think Halsey, like she is very talented. When I saw her at Coachella, I was like, oh my god, she sounds exactly like her studio version. I was like, she is so talented. And I think sometimes her social media stints just get her a lot of flack. How do you feel about Halsey?
I'm kind of indifferent with her, just because I mean, I all I really know about her is her music. Yeah, I don't know her much. I didn't even know Bad at Love was about her liking both men and women. I wish I could hear more about her personally, because I think what I do hear is just about her and her relationship. Since she is bi, I wish I would hear more her talking about it. But that's maybe because I just don't keep up with her. Like, does she talk about it at all?
Yes, in interviews she talks about it, and I don't know. I feel like when I found out that she was like, I'm like, ooh, I kind of feel like I had a feeling. Was it the short hair? I don't know. Maybe I'm stereotyping, but I when she came out as bisexual, like I really wasn't shocked, and I think some of the women she dated, like some of the celebrities, I feel like she dated Cara Delevingne, who is my next topic to talk about. But it's funny because Cara Delevingne, she dated Ashley Benson, and they were like engaged too, and they were gonna move in together, and they split. And then Ashley Benson goes to date G-Eazy, which is Halsey's ex, and then Halsey supposedly dated Cara too. So it was like the exes dating the exes. But yeah, that was just my little stint about Cara Delevingne. I feel like Cara Delevingne she's very proud of her sexuality. She's always said that she's bisexual and she like doesn't give a F about what people think about her. She just lives her life, dates who she wants to date, and she doesn't really like hide who she's dating either.
Oh yeah, she seems like she's just like DGAF, does her own thing, which I mean that's awesome for her. Like just to not care. I feel like anytime she's on the news, um, I don't know, talking about whoever she's hanging out with, that seems to be the topic when it comes to Cara Delevingne. But I mean, she's just living life. Like I feel like there's nothing else really to say about her, like besides who she's hanging out with, because there's no news about her. She's not creating any drama, except for I guess that little love square. I mean, that's just people like living their life, dating who they want to date, and yeah, she used to be part of Taylor Swift's crew.
Yes, yes, definitely. And I think in the Bad Blood music video, what was her name? Like it was not was it Knockout or like it was something, but yeah,
Some
she's
badass.
definitely super badass. And I feel like this episode is important because like we're talking about celebrities who are out and about, and I feel like it just helps so many people who perhaps pondering about their sexuality, they're questioning it, they're confused. And I feel like when you see celebrities embrace who they are, it makes other people feel less alone, more accepted. And I think that's just so crucial and beautiful. So that's why we're talking about these celebrities today because they are out. And I feel like people can find comfort in knowing that there's other people who are like them.
Speaking of beautiful, the next person.
Yes, oh my gosh, she is one of the most beautiful people ever, and if you guess Angelina Jolie, yes, we were talking about Angelina Jolie. And as I was doing my research, she's never had like a distinct specific interview where she's like, "Yes, I am bisexual." There's always been rumors that she was dating her co-stars and also like she said in one interview she wasn't blatant like I'm bisexual. She's like, "I'm going to be with whoever I want to be." And that is just so Angelina Jolie. She's just like go with the flow and she's so beautiful too. So it's just like I'm not shocked that she would want to share her beauty with other people, but
Yeah, both men and women.
yeah. And I feel like Angelina Jolie as an actress, she is so versatile. She has done all the hair colors and she does has done all the roles she's done like um the one where I think where she was like not like a drug addict, but it was like someone with like mental illness and she had like blonde hair and then she was the Tomb Raider, Laura Croft, and then she directs movies too. So I feel like she is just so smart and so beautiful. And she is definitely like a bi icon. So kudos to her. We love that.
Just so aware in life. I feel like she's always like just she's donating to fundraisers, donating to different causes. And yeah, you always hear about her doing some charitable work. Definitely like thinks about other people and the world is what I get from Angelina Jolie. So
She's
not only is she
very,
talented, but worldly.
yeah, she's very well rounded. And she's actually like a UN ambassador. Or maybe there's another word for it too, but she goes to like refugee camps and she tries to like help them. And of course, not only with her money, but with her fame, being very vocal about it. And I just saw like this TikTok of where they clipped this interview where she was going to a refugee camp and there was like kids there and one of the kids was really scared to look at her and she was like, "Oh my God, it's because of Maleficent." So I think Angelina Jolie, she's just so renowned and just like a global superstar and I just think that her having like love for anyone, I think it's very I don't know how to explain it, but I like it a lot and I appreciate her just not being judgmental about anything. Like anything. I don't think she's judgmental at all.
Dude, and like I mean her image has definitely changed. Like I feel like starting off, like she just looked like she kind of gives me like Cara Delevingne vibes, where she just didn't give a nap. She just seemed like a badass bitch. And then as she got older, and she was like a mom to I don't know how many children, but like now she just became like a mom with like such heart and
Hmm.
like wanting to like share what she has. So
Yeah,
yeah.
sh yeah, Cara Delevingne and her do have a similarity because one time they were both bald. And I'm like, you have to have so much confidence and not give an F to go bald because I feel like society just
Oh,
loves
hell
long
yeah.
hair. And Angelina Jolie is also like kind of like a spokesperson for like ovarian and I think breast cancer too because she actually removed her uterus and her breast because her mother died of I think cervical cancer. So because a lot of cancer is genetic, she just took out those organs just to really reduce her risk of cancer. So with that, I actually wrote about it in my biology paper once because we were talking about breast cancer being genetic, and I talked about how Angelina Jolie removed her breast to reduce her risk of breast cancer because her it was in her genetic lineage. So I'm just like, oh my God, there's so much to be said about Angelina Jolie from her roles to her relationships to her kid, her ambassador life. I'm like, oh my God, this woman is just like, she has done it all.
For real. What do we have next? Wait, did you remove, or I remember in your text you said Caitlyn Jenner. You don't want to touch on her?
I'm like, my research, I feel like right now, I feel like with Caitlyn, it's just a little bit touchy because like, I definitely, she is problematic and also, but she's also really famous too. But then I feel like people already kind of know about her already.
I mean, I feel like, yeah, she's definitely Caitlyn Jenner. I feel like when she came out as transgender, it was so positive and news outlets loved her. Everyone was so supportive. And then started getting criticized a little bit. I think one of the first statements I read online that she made that was she was criticized for was like she was asked like, "Oh, what's the hardest thing about being a woman?" And she's like, "Oh, trying to find an outfit to wear."
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when people started going after her, like, hello, like that's not what all being a woman is about. And like you would like and yeah, just people were just going after her for that comment. And then I mean we could talk about what's going on now with her running for
For governor.
for governor.
Which
And
I can't believe, but I'm like, you know what? She has the money for it, and I think there's also the issue with that she was in like a car accident case, and I think it was like manslaughter, but you know, like she didn't get in trouble for it, and also the fact that she's a Republican. I think she is a Trump supporter, but she's anti-gay marriage, and it's like, how are you transgender and against like the whole umbrella thing? I just don't know with her. I feel like we have better candidates out there that could be a better governor, but I feel like none of them want to like run for her. So I'm just like I don't know how I feel about Caitlyn Jenner. That's why I wasn't sure.
to talk about her.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about her now, and I think not knowing what your opinion of a celebrity is valid. And Caitlyn, like when I watched her on Keeping Up with the Kardashians as Bruce, like Bruce was an amazing father, very like traditional, has the values, always about family and doing the right thing, and you know. And then I feel like Caitlyn, like I don't know if we ever see that side of her again. Like maybe because she doesn't want to be Bruce anymore, which I understand. So I don't know. It's hard. I'm not sure.
But I mean, do you think that Kaylin has had any positive impact when it comes to her coming out as transgender?
Yeah, so I watched this one YouTuber, Blair White, and she said that Caitlyn Jenner has like a foundation and she's donated like thousands of dollars for children to go to college. And there's like kids who are really like kind of like idolize her, which I definitely understand because she did this one speech where she won like maybe like icon of the year or she won some kind of award for coming out. And that speech what I even reposted it on my Facebook because at the time I was like that speech is so amazing where she was like if you're different that's okay like it's okay to be different and that speech was so good and I she actually has like her YouTube channel Caitlyn she has like motivational speeches and I remember because I watched the video where Kylie did her makeup and Kylie was like yeah I watched one of your motivational videos and like it made me go to the gym and I'm like hold on maybe I should listen to one of these motivational
Well, I
videos.
mean, Bruce was also a motivational speaker when it like he talk about the Olympics and stuff. But
Mhm.
so, I mean, yeah, Caitlin, I'm sure is very good at speaking.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I've had conflict with my opinion of her is because I feel like on the internet there's a lot of vitriol and it's very like you either like her or you don't, and like people want you to not like her because of these various reasons, and it's just like at the same time I'm like I definitely understand the seriousness of the manslaughter, the car accident case, and her not supporting gay marriage, but also at the same time like I want to see all sides of her, so it's like it's complicated. I feel like I don't have an opinion on her, a distinct one anyway, but she is part of the community and she is out, and I'm very happy that she is out even though she's like 70 years old now, and she came out when she was like 55 or 60. So I
Yeah,
feel like just living decades of not being your true authentic self, I just can't imagine how that would feel, and I'm just like, I'm glad that she's out,
yeah,
telling her story.
that's true. And I think that's just a good example that um I mean any there's no time you don't have to come out when you're well like when you're young like I mean sometimes it's gonna take time for people so that could be she could be a great example for people who are like if 50, 60, and they're like, you know what, I'm just gonna live my truth.
Hmm.
So let's go to less complicated celebrities.
This celebrity has become like my recent like kind of like spotlight celebrity because I've been watching more interviews about her, reading more articles about her, and I feel like she's been in the spotlight because she's dating Machine Gun Kelly, but she is just like an icon of her own. And in a way, people have said she's like the Marilyn Monroe of our generation because she's um like generally is just known for her looks, but Megan Fox is so intelligent. I feel like she's very intuitive and also inquisitive, where like I feel like she thinks beyond the superficial topics, and I feel like a lot of people don't give her a chance because that's like okay, she's just a hot girl. We'll just like kind of like pigeonhole her into certain roles, and she was blacklisted after Transformers because she was speaking out about the director, and I was like thinking about her, and I was like, I swear she says she's bisexual. So I did my research, and yes, she came out in a Marie Claire interview, and she's like, basically, she was like, without a doubt in my mind, I know I'm bisexual. And
Oh
she was married to Brian Austin Green, but now she's dating Machine Gun Kelly, which just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
yeah, from the interviews that I have seen of her, I probably haven't seen as many interviews as you have. But I mean, she seems like a smart woman, and it just sucks that in Hollywood she was kind of stuck as this role,
Hmm.
and no one could really like explore the many sides of her. I didn't even know she was bi.
Yeah, right? I was like, I remember, I was like, I feel like she's bi, and then I looked it up and I was like, yes, she is. And like in the recent interviews I've watched of her, like she quote quote says she sends her kids to a liberal hippie school where they don't
Uh,
have any technology, and she's very cautious of the amount of screen time that her children get. And she's like, my children don't even know that I'm an actor. And she lets her son Noah, he wears dresses to school. So I feel like she's such a great mom, and she loves being a mom too, which I'm like, okay, that's so cute. So I feel like Megan Fox has like kind of like a new life because I've read that she has a lot more roles coming up. So I feel like this is great because I feel like she is so much more than her looks, and I think her coming out is just it's great. I
oh,
think
geez,
I
what's a
think
hit song?
I feel like people of all genders and sexualities appreciate Megan Fox's beauty.
Oh yeah, definitely. Last but not least, someone our age, around our
Yes,
age,
last and certainly not least is Miss Miley Cyrus.
this
Uh,
banger.
yes, oh my God, I love that era for her, like the short hair, just like the long legs, it was everything.
Yeah.
So Miley, I remember like she said that she's pansexual, and listen, she came out in 2015, which is like 6 years ago. And I can definitely see that from her. She just loves who she wants to love. And one time I remember she had like pink armpit hair. Like this girl is just like Cara Delevingne and Angelina Jolie. She does not care and she lives her truth. And the people that I remember her dating is Stella Maxwell, which is she's like a Victoria's Secret model, and then Caitlyn Carter, who is Brody Jenner's ex fiance. Which okay, I feel like Caitlyn Carter, honestly, she gave me clout chaser vibes.
Yep, agree with that.
Yeah, but I feel like Miley is just like whatever. Like I feel like Miley knew to cut that short. And of course, we know Miley dated and was married to Liam Hemsworth, which they're on and off decade-long relationship. Oh my gosh, what a whirlwind. And she just recently broke up with Cody Simpson, who is also an Australian guy. He's a singer. And he actually wanted to like try out for the Olympics as a swimmer. So he's kind of like an athlete too.
Well, I mean, one thing for sure, we know that Miley's into good-looking people.
Yeah.
Miley, Smiley. Let's just go back to like Hannah Montana days. I mean, speaking about Hannah Montana, did you see all those like there was like a short period of time where they were just like hinting all these not I don't know if it's a hint, but they were just like oh maybe they were celebrating like the anniversary of Hannah Montana. So she was like sending like cards to like the guy who played um her love interest on Hannah Montana and all the her co-stars on Hannah Montana. She sent them cards like signed from Hannah Montana. I thought it was just so cute. But anyways, I mean, Miley certainly had quite the journey in life. I mean, I feel like she's like lived like 20 different characters. Talk about Disney star.
Oh my gosh, like Miley Cyrus is definitely one of the celebrities like I would die to be friends with. Like I feel like she's just so interesting, she's so honest. Like she is a wild one for sure. She's definitely had her like problematic like eras and stuff, but I feel like she's really grown. And this YouTuber I watch, her YouTube title is As Told by Kenya. She made a video about Miley and how Miley was like quote quote twerking and using the hip hop culture to like boost her like fame or whatever. But then she was saying like Miley is not that problematic if you really think about it. And then Miley actually commented on her video. It was like a paragraph comment. I was like, oh my God. Basically just thanking her for like understanding her. And I was like, yeah, see that video? Like Miley Cyrus is not problematic. She just I feel like people just find problems with her because she's just herself and she doesn't care. And yeah, I would love to be friends with her. And I love how she's just like herself. And I remember when I was in high school, there was like supposedly a conspiracy theory that came out that she was like a lesbian or something like that because she had like a kissing picture with her friend. They were sharing like a
Oh,
Jolly Rancher or something.
yeah. I mean, she definitely posts risque things.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, and how can we forget she dated Nick Jonas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Miley is like such an icon, and I feel like she is like the type of person where she doesn't need to like shouting her sexuality. She's just is herself, and she always says like I will love whoever I want to love, and like she's like as long as they're consenting and we're both like adults and stuff. So I'm like yeah, like this girl is just she's wild, but she's great.
Going back to what you were saying, like people try to make Miley problematic. It kind of reminded me of when Nicki Minaj the award show when she said like "What's good, Miley," and then
Hmm.
Miley's like, "Hey, you know they like you know what happens when you talk to reporters and they make different stories of what you said or whatever she said." And then it's like I remember she just tried to like calm down that situation on live TV when Nicki Minaj was like trying to create something, but yeah, I think that's a really good example of her just like she's just living life and people try to create problems, but she's like, hey, like I'm just doing me. Like I'm loving who I want to love, doing what I want to do. Like just let her be. And like, can we come on? Like Bangers was like pretty crazy, but it was such a hit.
Was one of the albums I had on repeat. I was like, I listened to it while I walked to school, and I was like, oh my god, this album was so great. I think it's one of her best albums to date, and I think Plastic Hearts is a really amazing album too. They're both different sounds, different time periods of her life, but both of them show the progression of her relationship and how she's dealing with the breakup and moving on and stuff. And I feel like Plastic Hearts is a little bit more reflective. Like she's very aware of herself, and she's kind of like take it or leave it.
Is she even dating anyone right now?
I don't think so. Like it just came out that her and Cody Simpson broke up, and I forgot who called who a distraction or just a phase or something. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But anyways, I it's gonna be interesting to see who Miley dates and what her haircut's gonna be like. And I feel like sometimes I feel like sometimes like she has really great style moments and sometimes she has really out there moments which I wouldn't personally wear, but it's like very Miley. And I remember one time she had the short blonde bob, like that touched her collarbones, I think. And I was like, I love that. I was like, I'm gonna get a bob.
I think my favorite look of hers is when it was after Bangers, and I think she was like back with Liam, and she just had like a long, like wavy blonde hair, and it just looked so natural and beachy and like hippie, and I just loved it. I felt like the hippie look just looks like her.
I feel like I would love to meet everyone on this list, but I think my top three would have to be Miley Cyrus, Megan Fox, and Laverne Cox. I think I would want to meet them and interview them. Those I think those are the three I really want to meet and just like learn more of because I feel like their mind is just so like a whole universe that we need like a gigantic spaceship to explore.
Oh, my favorites from this list. I mean, there's so many people who are part of the community that we did not talk about. These are just like a few.
Mm.
But just from our list, I would say Bretman Rock because I just love him. I love his just living life. And Miley Cyrus, I feel like Miley Cyrus, even though I want to be here, I'd also be kind of scared of her. Just because I don't know what to expect from her, but I do want to be her. And definitely Laverne Cox. I just think she's an icon. And I feel like the world could learn so much from her.
Yeah, I feel like with Miley, she doesn't like people who kiss her ass. Like she actually was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she's like, I don't like people who kiss up to me, like blah 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 blah. Like she doesn't like when people compliment her because it makes her feel weird, and it just brings me
Say,
back to the time this paparazzi caught this video where like a fan was like, Miley, you're a badass bitch. And she just laughed and she said thank you. And I feel like she likes that. She likes people who are just like honest and just like not like trying to be someone else to her. Because I feel like when you're a celebrity, you have a heightened sense of who's genuine and who's not.
I know we're not the spokespeople for Pride.
Yeah, we definitely are not. I'm
God. But I mean, we just wanted to do this like little episode because just to appreciate those who are the community and acknowledge them.
Yeah, I feel like okay, maybe we're a little biased. We chose like our favorites and kind of like people like we personally would like to meet and talk about. But I think it's just a great time just to reiterate that celebrities at the end of the day, they are also human. They want to explore life, explore their sexuality. And I think with these really key specific figures, like I feel like they just cater to so many different audiences. So like we have Laverne Cox, we have Halsey, Megan, Miley, and it's just I don't know, I feel like it's just important to kind of like acknowledge that side of them for this month and also just know that it's just one part of them and we will talk about more topics about celebrities. So stay tuned and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Bye.